Art, I don't want to alarm you, but it's almost 2023.
It's almost 2023 and my mind still hasn't processed the fact that it isn't 2021 anymore. Anime this year is guaranteed to have some of the best shows we've seen this decade, but diving deeper and speaking more specifically about what the seasons are gonna have, it's got us curious whether or not winter 2023 can beat fall 2022, because last season, oh man, there was so much good stuff to watch that I heard some guy even forgot to feed his family. But that's enough about personal matters. Let's get right into the anime of winter 2023.
Vinland Saga Season 2. Alright, I'll be the first to admit it. We haven't actually watched the first season yet, but we heard it was an amazing anime from friends that did. And from my understanding, this is a continuation of that amazing story. But I've also heard that the story moves in a totally different direction since the goal of the main character has pretty much been achieved back in Season 1. So if you're coming back to watch Season 2, I think it's best to keep that in mind. And just like Attack on Titan, which studio was in charge of the first season, but have now handed this over to MAPPA to work on this production. I don't think we'll be disappointed by MAPPA and is still in good hands, but we probably won't watch Vinland Saga this season. But I swear, we will eventually watch this series. The Misfit of the Demon King Academy, Season 2. Misfit of the Demon King Academy has the typical trashy OP protagonist trope, but somehow, this one just works. Even amongst all the crappy wish fulfillment fantasy shows that are out there, this one is king. It didn't do anything you've never seen before. No, but what it does do is it doubles down on everything it does. Anything you need done, this guy can do it better, faster, and cooler than anybody else can. You need help moving apartments? This guy's your man. The first season was just some power fantasy trash, and we can expect the second season to be the same. We'll still be watching the first few episodes at least. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense, Season 2. For those who are new to the series, this one's about a girl who just on a whim decided that she'd join her friend in a brand new MMORPG. And as the title of the anime suggests, she's a pure tank player, but she also gets a bunch of secret skills for being the first to beat some of the game's bosses. So not only does she become the best tank in the game, but also one of the best damage dealers too, and to add insult to injury, she had no idea what she was even doing the entire time to get that OP. The premise of it was pretty reminiscent of SAO, except there's no death. Yeah, I know, that was the best part. And instead of getting someone like Kirito, Maple is a bubbly new gamer that's never even thought about killing anything but time. So this one's for those who want something that scratches the OP protagonist itch, but at the same time, is comfy and low stress. Tokyo Revengers Christmas Showdown Arc. Another sequel we're getting this season is the continuation of Tokyo Revengers. The first season left us with a crazy cliffhanger that ended the season with a bang, so we're excited to see what happens next. While I'm excited for it, the first season of Tokyo Revengers isn't without its problems though, and the biggest glaring problem being the main character himself, Takemichi. The problem that people have with this guy is that he falters almost every step he takes and is basically the punching bag of the show. He does have these redeeming moments after something big happens, and we finally get to see him prove himself as the main character. But that only lasts until the next tough thing he has to deal with sets him right back to square one. Another thing is that these characters are teenagers, specifically middle schoolers, and it kind of pulls you out of the immersion when you realize how crazy it is to imagine middle schoolers doing these kinds of things. But with that being said, I think the first season was pretty decent for the most part, so we'll definitely continue watching Tokyo Revengers.
Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Season 4, Deep Chapter Calamity Arc. Alright, so I think we have to start this off by saying, god damn it, the light novel readers were right. They were preaching that Season 4 of Danmachi was going to be the peak of the entire series, and they weren't wrong. You could tell that JC's staff decided to put their best foot forward this season and not mess around a bit like they kinda did in Season 3. This arc of Danmachi is going to be a direct continuation from the previous season and will pick up exactly where the story left off, with Belle and Ryu severely injured and separated from the rest of the party or any help. And to add more fuel to the fire, they're stuck in the 37th floor's White Palace, which is known to be a challenge for even the top adventurers. We're really hoping this next arc can follow the great tempo that the previous season set and be all that the light novel readers were preaching. We're excited for this one, so it's a must watch for us. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, Second Attack. I don't know if I'm a bit weird for this, but I didn't completely hate the first episode of Season 1. Yeah, she makes him cry and bullies him to oblivion, but it makes the character development that much better when both Nagatoro and Senpai stop being little bitches. Now, I haven't read the manga yet, but I've heard from manga readers that Season 1 is only just the beginning of the story, and it gets way better afterwards, aging like fine wine. I've seen enough screenshots and spoilers to confirm that it does indeed get better, so if you hated the first season and clenched your teeth and fist holding back at the cringe, well, you won't have to do that anymore. I think. I don't know, I'm not a manga reader yet. We're definitely watching this and we recommend all you guys give it another chance even if you didn't like the first season. NieR Automata version 1.1a. With this new uptick of video games being adapted into anime being one of the best recent trends for the medium, my expectations for NieR Automata is through the roof. Now, I don't know too much about the game, but I do know many people back in 2017 praised it for its amazing story, along with its beautiful settings and unforgettable music which actually won it an award. Set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity has been driven off of Earth by alien mechanical beings, androids 2B and 9S are tasked with the heavy burden of reclaiming the world back and saving it from the dystopian nightmare it has now become. Now obviously there's a pretty big concern of reusing content as the game itself already has a story, and it would be pretty boring for people to have already played the game to go into the anime and effectively watch the same thing. But don't worry, Yoko Taro himself, the director of the original NieR Automata game, has assured fans that the story is going to be different from the game, so everybody can enjoy the anime. We're really looking forward to this one, and we hope it can continue the trend of amazing anime with video game backgrounds. Inspector Season 2. Alan and I are individuals that believe in second chances. Generally, things should be given another opportunity to redeem themselves for the sins they've committed in the past. But Inspector Season 1? Holy shit was that bad. I don't even want to give it a second chance. And you know an anime is bad if I don't want to give the next season a watch. It's been a while since I watched the first season, but if my memory serves me correct, the first few episodes weren't too bad, but once they got to the Steel Lady Nanase arc, it was just straight Takno Jutsu for 3 episodes. And I remember being so disappointed when they got to the conclusion of that arc because the payoff was nothing. That entire issue that was stretched over 3 episodes of talking was solved just like that, and I felt like I wasted my time. If that's any indication of what's to come in Season 2, then I don't want anything to do with crippled Japanese Fetty Wap, or the gangly sick cousin of the main character who kinda has a crush on her. Did I mention their cousins? We honestly might watch it just to give it another chance, but we're definitely gonna drop it if they pull some bullshit again. For you guys out there, I would not recommend watching it unless it starts becoming crazy good.
The Fruit of Evolution Season 2. The Fruit of Evolution is one of the worst anime I have ever seen. The first season tries to do a lot, which is pretty typical of generic isekai, but the thing is, they never really did anything that kept people's attention, or it was just straight up done horribly. They tried to make an OP protagonist, but didn't really show us he was. They also tried making a harem, but pretty much all the main cast are annoying in their own way. I'm just honestly so surprised that this series even got a second season. I can't imagine that real people actually enjoyed it and stuck around long enough for someone to greenlight a second season. So as you can tell by now, I don't even want to give this a second chance. Spy Classroom. Spy Classroom takes place in a world where wars are no longer won with military might, but with espionage. And the world's greatest spy, Klaus, is tasked with a near impossible mission with a predicted failure rate of 90%. So he handpicks 7 girls that he believes can complete this task, except they have no idea how to do this job, or any type of spy work for that matter. I'm pretty excited for this one because people have been raving about the light novel, and the lineup of voice actors they have is top tier. So this is gonna be a must watch for us. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten is a wholesome slice of life rom-com that follows Amane Fujimiya and his neighbor Mahiro Shina. Even as neighbors, the two have practically never spoken to each other, until one day, Amane lends his umbrella to a distressed Mahiro after he finds her out in the rain. To return the favor, she offers to help him around the house, leading to the beginnings of a beautiful relationship as the distance between the two slowly closes. With this one, I've also seen people sing its praises about the light novel, so it's definitely worth checking out and a must watch for us. Tomo-chan Is a Girl. Tomo-chan Is a Girl features a tomboyish girl named Tomo Aizawa who just wants to be seen as someone that's dateable in the eyes of her childhood friend, Junichiro Kubota. Unfortunately for her, she uses the term bra unironically, and so he just sees her as one of the boys on Discord. And even after a full-on confession, that shit just flies straight over Junichiro's head, cause the guy didn't even realize that Tomo was a girl until they were in middle school. We're gonna be giving this one a few episodes, but I have some pretty high hopes for the series, as the manga is actually pretty popular.
Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. We can now add another cute rom-com manga to the growing list of rom-com manga that people didn't believe would ever get an anime adaptation, get an anime adaptation. With the growing trend of adapting popular rom-com series, it was a matter of time before Kubo-san got her own spotlight. People have been hyped for this adaptation because the manga has been exactly what people needed in their life. A bunch of cute moments between a wimpy male main character that the reader can relate to, and a cute girl that would never exist in the reader's pathetic life. Now, I haven't read the manga yet, but from the description alone, it kinda seems really similar to Takagi-san, but I'm honestly hoping it could be something even better. Although people should approach this with caution because I could see this easily becoming another Shikimori situation. We'll definitely be checking this out and praying that it adapts to an anime well. My Life as Inukai-san's Dog. As of recent, it seems like every season has at least one degenerate ecchi anime that is just meant to trigger the SJWs on Twitter. Last season was Immoral Guild, the season before that was Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World, and this season we have My Life as Inukai-san's dog. One day, our unnamed protagonist wakes up and finds out he's been turned into his crush's dog. At first thought, this is terrible. Nobody wants to be the crush's dog, but then things take an interesting turn when he finds out his crush might be half white and bathes with a dog. She might even be the type of white person that kisses her dogs on the lips. You know, maybe being a dog ain't so bad after all. I mean, last season practically prepared me to be one, cause after seeing Denji, Bochi, and Sid, they all showed me what it means to really have that dog in you. Obviously this anime isn't meant to be anything serious, so we'll be watching it for research purposes. And if you guys want something that you can turn your brain off to, this is it. The Ice Guy and his cool female colleague. Similar to the previously mentioned Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible, I've heard good things about the manga and people really wanted this to be adapted because the source material is a step above other competitors within the same genre. Himuro-kun is a chill guy that just started his new job at an office. And when I say chill, I mean he ends up causing blizzards and snowstorms anytime he's emotionally overwhelmed because he's a descendant of Yuki Onna's. He has a crush on his cool coworker Fuyutsuki-san, who's also curious about Himuro, but not necessarily romantically curious. As they get to know each other more and more, things become awkward as it usually does because neither of them have any romantic experience. This kind of falls into the office rom-com pool that we already have a soft spot for, so we're probably going to be checking this out. We're going to do something a bit different this time because I want to acknowledge and touch upon these anime, but I don't really care to go too deep into them. So we're going to be talking about 4 shows all together in one. Farming Life in Another World, The Reincarnation of the Strongest Exorcist in Another World, Reborn to Master the Blade, From Hero King to Extraordinary Squire, Handyman Saitou in Another World. An anime season just isn't complete without talking about everyone's favorite genre, Isekai. All these anime are considered Isekai except Reborn to Master the Blade, but let's just say the commonality is the reincarnation factor. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys and say I've heard of all these titles, but I don't have to have pre-existing knowledge to know what they're about. The title says it all, and some of them sound fucking boring, but let's go through them in order anyway. Based on the trailer and reading the description, this farming one looks like it'll put you to sleep. I really hope this isn't like Farmville where all he does is farm crops. I want to see him farm something else, like some bitch. Reincarnation of the Strongest Exorcist and Reborn to Master the Blade both look like your typical trashy power fantasy that just checks off all the boxes that a 12-year-old wants to see. Handyman Saitou sounds like the anime version of Bob the Builder, except he's hit with the harsh reality of an economic downturn and he gets laid off and then isekai'd. If you guys like your isekai power fantasy trash or just like reincarnation anime in general, it's gonna be a field day for you. But for us, we might only watch 1 or 2 of these and wait for people to talk about the others first before giving it a chance.
We're starting 2023 strong with a lot of continuations mixed in with plenty of new titles, so there's gonna be something for everyone. It seems like this season is a good start to the year, but there's nothing too crazy that got everybody's attention. But who knows, a hidden gem might pop up, or crazy turn of events might make this season one of the best seasons of 2023. Anyway, that's it from us, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.